It has been a couple months since my last Tower of Fantasy video, and there have been quite a number of changes, specifically pertaining to overhauls and new features introduced into the game, some of which I think are drastic improvements, and I am here today to talk about that. And before we go any further, this is official artwork for the game. This is posted directly on their website, and I know it has definitely caught the attention of some of you guys. Now, before we go any further, if you want to stay up to date with anything and everything pertaining to Tower of Fantasy or MMO news in general, go down, click that subscribe button, and become part of our community. Now, before we jump into the things that were added or the things that were altered, I want to go ahead here and look at their brand new trailer. This trailer in specific is about a minute long and is on the QQ.com website. I do not think it is actually on YouTube currently. Where's the volume? Oh. I'm not sure who these are, because you can completely create your character from scratch. So, are these like NPCs that are gonna join you? Okay. I think she was the girl from the trailer. Yeah. Okay, so that was definitely an interesting trailer that showcased a little bit of the combat. At the same time, four different female characters. I'm not sure specifically what purpose they serve necessarily. Now, let's start this off by talking about this blog post in specific. This was a teaser trailer that showcased these four girls in specific. It goes on to state that this is a secret experiment conducted by the mysterious organization Sons of Ada that is to perform a certain degree of mechanical modifications on an individual to gain the ability to resist the original energy radiation. Now, I want you guys to know that this is actually translated from Chinese into English, so there are going to be some inconsistencies with regards to the translation. Not all of it may make sense, but this is about as good as we can probably get. Now, it looks as though there were only a handful of participants that survived these experiments, and they went on to be known as forgiving angels, and each angel was given a new name and lost pretty much all of their past. Through the trailer in question, players can receive a deeper understanding of the characters and the characteristics of the four forgiving angels and feel their heroic fighting attitude. Then they go on to state the voice actress for each of the characters, and then Frigga in specific is going to use a giant katana, I think. Seal looks like she uses an enormous mech. Then we have Isis, who looks to be some type of gunslinger or like android-esque character. And then finally we have Nemesis, who apparently has a twin personality. I don't know what specifically her weapon is. I don't know if that's her weapon in the back there. Now, this is an MMORPG, and I really do not understand the purpose of these characters. Now, I do want to note here that this is what the gameplay for the game looks like, okay? This is the in-game gameplay taken exclusively from the game. Now, at the same time, this is the character creation for the game. You can customize your character quite extensively, a lot of different aspects of your character. So evidently you possess the ability to create a character from the ground up, but at the same time, what is the purpose of all of these characters then? Because you're not going to play as them, right? Or if you are going to play as them, what is the purpose behind actually creating your character? These are things that I unfortunately do not know. Then they go on to state that there have been drastic changes made to the user interface. Now, this is what the UI looked like before. And before you guys start complaining, this is a mobile game or a mobile UI, this is a cross-platform game, exactly like Genshin Impact. We have known about this since the inception of the game. This specifically looks like it is taken from the mobile device, but I've covered the PC version of the game before. I've covered it in quite a bit of detail. I've shown the UI for the PC incarnation of the game. So this video, or this image at least, is showing us the drastic changes that have been made to the UI. This is specifically pertaining to the mobile version of the UI, granted, but if I am not mistaken, the UI is similar for both ports of the game. This is the UI before, and this is the UI after. What they noted was they wanted the UI to be much more advanced, much more sci-fi feeling, and by making everything look much more sci-fi feeling, it kind of fit more with the theme of the game. Personally, I don't think either stands out more really than the other. I feel like both are perfectly acceptable in terms of UI. I really do not see one as a drastic improvement over the other, but they went on to detail the fact that the icons at the top right are more sleek, and that the icons down the bottom right are more futuristic looking. They wanted to show that the UI before, when opening all of your options, looked and felt like a mobile game, but after altering that, it looks much more sleek, it looks much more modern and much more futuristic. And honestly, I guess with regards to this, it genuinely does. And then of course they went on to showcase the I don't even know what you'd call that area. It's not an action bar, but it is the equivalent of one, like an action area. And I mean, while this one looks kind of basic and feels familiar, at the same time, this one kind of looks cool as well. I don't know. I really don't think this was necessary overall, but I do like that we're getting a look at a lot more of the improvements they're making and how they are listening to the kind of feedback that players are submitting. And of course, the fact that these characters look so good. I mean, just take a moment here and look through how absolutely incredible these screenshots are right now. Seriously. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, while I do see very, very noticeable similarities in terms of graphical style to Genshin Impact, this could very well be a very, very fun anime MMORPG that you can play cross-platform. I'm glad they are making extensive alterations to the game. The game is currently in beta testing for those of you that are interested in testing the game out. The game will be releasing sometime in the very, very near future, and I hope to be able to get into the game and test it out for myself, maybe record some footage and upload that to the channel.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.